Do you remember the first time we met? I was clanless, helpless, until you saved me. If I had known you were still alive, I never would have left. You know that, right? You have to understand.
It doesn't matter what he does or doesn't get, RC. You made a choice. You abandoned the cause. RC,
You don't know me. Please, Carly. I don't want to talk about it. He was a captive of Shockwave for hundreds of years.
Shockwave. Isn't that who has Jazz? And Cliff Jumper?
The very same. They are probably being tortured as we speak.
How goes Ultramagnus' repairs?
I'm just now getting to his exterior plating, but Optimus, without Ratchet, bringing him back to full health will drain us of almost all the energon we took from the dam. We could keep him like this and revive more Autobots.
Prime, I must be a part of the new resistance. I want to fight.
Hey guys, the Fire Brothers here. Issue 11 of the Transformers Skybound comics is out, and today I'm giving you my review of it. I will be summarizing this like always, so expect spoilers. And if you still haven't been caught up with everything going on in the Skybound comics so far, I made one video going over the first arc of the series, another one for issue 7, issue 8, issue 9, and I just did one for issue 10 last month. But today, we're doing issue 11. It's still gonna be on a playlist for you guys to check out if you wanna hear my thoughts on the series so far. Link to it will be in the description down below or in the comments down below. Today we're tackling issue 11 and oh boy, it looks like things get serious. So, last call for spoilers, and if you're still here, I assume you're cool with it. So, let's jump right into it. Previously on the Skybound comics, we got a flashback showcasing how Beachcomber got stranded on the moon and eventually made it to Earth, all the while Deep Stone Lullaby from Destiny 2 was playing. And it fit surprisingly well, actually. Just check out the previous video if you want to hear the full thing. Eventually, Beachcomber hijacks a ride back to Earth using the Apollo spacecraft. He makes it to Earth and is completely enamored with the best edge of life and nature around him. He eventually manages to find the Ark and has the option to bring the Transformers back online. But he knows that if he does this, he will also bring the Decepticons back, and this will cause their war to begin on Earth once again, potentially bringing Armageddon to Earth. So instead, he decides to leave all his friends and enemies in an eternal coma if it means saving the planet. And he also befriended a chipmunk family or something. We then find out he has been telling the story to Spike, but not only him, but Astrotrain, who's in chains? Oh my god, this is somebody's kink. Astrotrain then explains that Shockwave is behind the giant space bridge portal, teleporting Cybertron to Earth. We're also ripping off Dark of the Moon, just so you know. And that with Shockwave on the planet, it's only a matter of time till they begin sucking the Earth dry of resources. We then go back to the Decepticons and Soundwave is trying to fix up Ravage, only for Shockwave to show up and snatch Ravage off Soundwave's hands. He's like, bro, this is pretty cringe, just get a new one. I'll get you the new Ravage 10 by Apple, so let's melt this thing. But just before he's about to melt Ravage, something catches Shockwave's eye. And like a little kid, he starts running out the ship just to see it, and he sees a sperm whale. He's captivated by its beauty, its nature, its elegance. He has never seen something like this and can't help but get all giddy about it. So he does the sensible, rational thing and shoves it onto a meat grinder for its biological components to be used as fuel for the Decepticon cars, although all laughing maniacally. Yes, the Shockwave is pretty unhinged. We then cut back to the Autobots. Elita 1 and Optimus carry Ultra Magnets over to Wheeljack so he can fix him up. But then RC jumps in joy. She's happy to see her old mentor again, alive, even though he's worse for wear. She falls to the ground and starts breaking down in happiness, as she previously believed that she will never see him again, while Wheeljack asks Prime where the others are. And Optimus then delivers to Wheeljack the bad news. And Wheeljack's also super heartbroken about this, to the point that he even pushes Optimus away and slowly walks away, saying that he needs a moment alone, leaving a guilt-ridden Optimus to process about what their next move should be. Meanwhile, back at the Decepticon base, Cliffjumper and Jazz are being experimented on by Shockwave, and it's not pretty. It's so bad that even Thundercracker and Soundwave decide to walk away from this. By the way, by the point I'm doing the recap, I still haven't read the latest issue, but I'm gonna say it, I think they get merged together into an abomination like Ratchet and Megatron from way back when. You know, I have my fingers crossed for that. Either that or we get just some minor facial disfigurement like Ultra Magnus, in which case, not big deal, it can be fixed, though will probably still be really painful. Thundercracker and Soundwave walk outside and discuss the latest turn of events. They express their displeasure of having to work with Shockwave, all the while also have been listening into this conversation, setting the seeds for a future Decepticon Civil War. We then cut back to the Autobots and we see that Elita 1 and Optimus are having some relationship troubles. Oh my god, would you two just already? Elita 1 is still pretty mad at Optimus for leaving her behind on Cybertron and leaving their people behind to chase through the stars. Optimus tries to defend himself, but he then states that they should probably focus more on Shockwave, the current danger to this world, and they can save the relationship counseling for later. We then cut back to the Decepticons and we see that Shockwave has called this group meeting, stating that they're finally ready to start the sucking process of this world's natural resources. Thundercracker's like, haven't we already started that? But Shockwave's like, nah, that will take a little time. Instead, we're gonna speed things up. So Shockwave presses a few buttons and then the machine starts going into overdrive, shooting up an even more powerful beam into the sky. And then we see that Cybertron is being teleported in Earth's orbit. Yes, Dark of the Moon style. And thus Shockwave proclaims that now the harvest can finally begin. Everyone up to speed? Good. So this issue starts much like in the earlier skit. Beachcombers just surfing around the waves, trying to get an angle how to destroy the machine. RC's going through some stuff, she punches Elita 1, Ultra Magnus wants to fight, and we're all caught up. Now let's get into the new stuff. We cut back to the Decepticons and we see that Soundwave is literally begging Shockwave to please fix Ravage. I mean, this dude has been in a coma since the first issue. But Shockwave's like, nah, dude, that's cringe. Focus on your goal, we're so close to victory. And tells Soundwave to stay behind while he goes through the fixed portal back to Cybertron. In there, we see that the rest of the Combaticons are waiting for him. Swindle, Blastoff, Vortex, who, oh my god, Vortex is alive? Actually, you know what, I shouldn't be surprised at this point. And we also see that Vortex is carrying something in his back. People have been saying that this could be the other half of Brawl. I am not so sure, it's not made very obvious, but I'm gonna assume it is. The Combaticons have been left out of the action and they ask Shockwave for answers. What's going on? Where did they get all this energy on? And our Onslaught and Brawl arrive. Interestingly enough, Blastoff refers to Brawl and Onslaught as their brothers, so the Combaticons might actually be brothers this time around. However, Shockwave goes full Benson on their asses and tells them all to get back to work. He says that because of the energy spiking around Cybertron now, it is likely that Autobot forces across Cybertron will try and launch an assault onto Shockwave's fortress, and orders them all to get ready for battle. We then cut back to the Autobots and they're starting to make plans as to how they're gonna deal with the Space Bridge portal. As it turns out, the Decepticons have already taken a lot of resources from Earth, and they have enough energy to basically get rid of any remaining Autobot resistance. Elita 1 then states that the lack of energy the Decepticons had was the one thing that gave the Autobots a fighting chance on Cybertron. But as they're having this conversation, Carly interrupts and reminds everyone that they have Cliffjumper and they need to go get him. And we can also see that she's equipped with an AK-47? Where is this kid getting all these weapons? Like, I know this is America, but damn, every single panel she has something new on. Optimus agrees with Carly that they need to go and save Cliffjumper and Jazz, but after he says this, Elita 1 snaps, reminding Optimus Prime that there's still Autobots on Cybertron fighting to the death to try and win this war. Destroying the portal will condemn them all to death. She then gets closer to Optimus and tells him if he's completely okay with letting all of his fellow soldiers die, leaving Optimus without words for a second, with all that he's able to say in response is saying that he's confident in their own abilities and that of their old friends. And while all of that's happening, RC and the others are starting to gear up for battle, and we see that RC is now ready to go on the warpath. ready to rain hell on the Decepticons for all the torture they inflicted upon Ultra Magnus. Later that night, Optimus Prime is looking up at the stars, reminiscing on his time on Cybertron back when Ratchet was still alive. Elita 1 approaches him and asks him what he's doing, to which Optimus replies that he's thinking of an old friend that's now gone. Elita 1 simply responds to Optimus that he should add him to the pile of dead Autobots that this war has brought. Optimus then tells Elita that Ratchet said that he was too concerned with this world, but it was he who brought this war to them, and now this world needs them. Elita 1 tells them that they have their own problems to deal with, and they can't focus on the humans or this planet, to which Optimus agrees, but he then tells Elita that they might need them in order to survive. Elita 1 asks Optimus Prime what he's planning, if they're planning to go in charging straight ahead, but Optimus says that they're not gonna be doing that. Elita 1 is confused by this and asks Optimus to clarify, to which Optimus Prime responds with a question amongst all the Autobots who has teleportation abilities, to which Elita 1 replies with no one. And then it gets revealed that they're actually gonna use Skywarp's teleportation ability to get themselves inside the Nemesis and shut down the space bridge portal. Surprisingly enough, Skywarp's okay with this, and is letting the Autobots use his teleportation ability. My guess is that they level up his friendship level high enough for him to allow them to do this. Wheeljack has also been busy in building weapons and charges that they're gonna use to blow up the Nemesis, alongside with continuing repairs on Ultra Magnus, getting him ready for battle once again. Also, just wanna say this, Wheeljack is the MVP of this whole comic run. So far, he has really come in clutch for a lot of these things. The Autobots get ready to charge in, but then Carly chimes in and tells them all that they're making a mistake, that she should go as well. But Arcee, as her superior, says that she doesn't want what happened to Magnus to happen to her. But Carly's just so guilt-ridden about how badly she treated Cliffjumper, despite all the times that he saved her. She needs to get him back and begs Arcee to let her come with. However, the Autobots have made up their minds and they're ready to go without her. But they do promise that they're gonna get Cliffjumper and Jazz back. We then cut back to Spike and Beachcomber, and we see that Beachcomber has found no way to infiltrate the Nemesis or shut down the machine. There's absolutely nothing they can do, and the next best thing to do is just walk away. To which Spike is saddened by this, but seeing no other option, he agrees with Beachcomber and agrees to go with him. Beachcomber comforts the young boy and tells him that they'll find another quiet part of this world, to hopefully be safe. And also, just before Beachcomber leaves, he basically leaves an Energon camp for Beachcomber to drink, while he waits for his Decepticons to show up and rescue him. To which Astrotrain very gratefully responds with, "No! I will not be left in captivity yet again, Spark, damn it! Release me and fight!" Man, and I thought Elita 1 had issues. However, just as Spike and Beachcomber are leaving, they both find a deer, and Spike gets reminded of the deer that Optimus Prime killed in that issue a while back. You know, out of context, that sounds completely wrong. That reminder of how the Autobots value life and want to protect it. Spike's a fire within Spike, and he tells Beachcomber that he's right, it's wrong to fight. But Spike doesn't think he will have to, he just doesn't have to run away. We then cut back to the Autobots, where we see Cliffjumper and Jazz are worse for wear. They've been experimented and tortured for days by Shockwave, as he's trying to get inside their heads, to look on their memories and the information they know. However, after much resistance from the two Autobots, Shockwave decides that it's finally time to cut them open. He will start by opening up Cliffjumper's head and extracting his brain. But just as that happens, Optimus Prime teleports behind you, scoff, amateur, and points a gun to his head, surprising Shockwave. The Autobots hold Shockwave at gunpoint as they start freeing Cliffjumper and Jazz. Elita 1 then runs into the room and states that all the charges have been planted, they are ready to blow up the Nemesis. However, this is not enough for Arcee, who's currently going through her rebellious phase. She gets all up close in Shockwave's face and gets ready to blow him up in vengeance. Optimus begs her to stop, saying that she has come a long way and she shouldn't lose herself to this path once again. However, using the distraction, Shockwave kicks Arcee away and then child-naps Cliffjumper and uses him as a body shield. Man, this really is the year of the Predator. Shockwave manages to rendezvous with the other Decepticons and orders the
Constructicons
to merge into Devastator! Okay, look, I just had to fanboy. This art here is just phenomenal. I love it. Devastator tries to crush the Autobots, but all of them manage to dodge out of the way just in time. And as the hull of the Nemesis gets broken, Shockwave points over to a portal in the distance, asking Soundwave what's that. We find out that this is the portal that the Autobots used to get here in the first place. And from the portal, Wheeljack and Ultra Magnus bust in, ready to f*** shit up. And I'm not gonna lie, Ultra Magnus here looks great. This is the coolest Ultra Magnus art we have gotten in this entire comic run. And also, Wheeljack looks pretty badass too. Like, my man is the MVP of this issue. However, as Ultra Magnus is ready to pounce on Face, he lays eyes onto Shockwave and starts slowly muttering to himself, before dropping the gun, transforming, and running away. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that is a bit disappointing. Like, I get it, the guy was tortured, he was suicidal for like 4 issues straight, but it's still a tad bit disappointing. But you know what, still better than Netflix. As Magnus runs away, Shockwave starts laughing menacingly, stating that he has broken his mind, and now he will break all of their bodies. And yeah, that's pretty much it for issue 11. Anyways, now we're in the part where I review the comic issue and give you my thoughts on it. And I think this might be a bit controversial, but I didn't like this comic issue as much. Now, don't get me wrong, we have some really nice character moments, we have some really good art, Beachcomber riding those waves, Elita One's anger faces, Devastator himself, and that Ultra Magnus introduction, mwah! Beautiful, amazing. When it comes to art, I think this issue is a 10 out of 10. It was perfect, immaculate, I have no problems with it. However, when it comes to the action and overall kind of what happened, this felt more like a setup issue. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I said it in the past, I said it many times before that I personally really love setup issues. I love issues that kind of just focus on the characters and there's not much action on it. And I think this issue had plenty, but considering where last issue kind of left off, I was kind of hoping that we'll, just jump straight into the action for this. And we sort of did, although briefly. I never been a huge Beachcomber fan, but I'm really liking how his character is struggling to stay pacifist in a war in which pacifism is not really an option. Also, I just love how wholesome and kind he is, even to his enemies like Astrotrain, who will literally break him apart without a second thought. My guess is that towards the end of this run, Beachcomber will be forced to fight. I don't think he can stay in neutral for much longer. And also, I really like seeing this side of RC. Like, RC has been kind of a, I want to say a bit of a stale character lately. I do like her relationship with Carly, but RC has never had much to, do or too much focus on her. This issue kind of changed that, and now she's like in this path of vengeance against Shockwave for what he did to Ultra Magnus. I love her expressions in this comic, and I love how the artist depicted her. You can see the anger, the seething hatred coming from her face and the shadows surrounding it. I can already see some people having some problems with Elita 1 here. It's not that she's a bad character. I honestly really love Elita 1 in this comic issue. It's just that I think people are gonna see some of the stuff that Elita 1 says and does, and they're gonna think that she's mean or rude or, a bad character. But no, she's been through so much. While Optimus Prime was basically exploring the stars, she was leading the resistance on Cybertron. At the beginning of this arc, we literally saw her lose a whole squadron and she felt really guilty about it. She's a character that has been through so much loss, trauma, and heartbreak. I do like how while Optimus is very optimistic, Elita 1 is more realistic and thinks about things in a different angle. And speaking of trauma, Ultra Magnus, I like how he got back into fighting shape. And okay, while him running away, might, make some people say, oh, Ultra Magnus is a coward like in the Netflix series. Or in some cases, it might even make some people laugh. I mean, I kind of laughed the first time I saw this. I'm not sure if that makes me a bad person for it, but okay. But he runs away because he's been traumatized. He's been tortured for thousands of years, okay? That's not something you kind of just sort of come back from, alright? I completely understand why they did this with Ultra Magnus and his character and his nature. And I'm not against it. If anything, I just feel like it makes the whole struggle, the trauma, the setting, the stakes feel a bit more realistic. When people say that getting captured by Shockwave is a worse fate than death, then I think this perfectly, builds on that statement. The things that Shockwave did to Ultra Magnus were so bad that he can go back and face him without breaking down. Now, I'll be completely honest, I don't think Ultra Magnus is gone out of the fight for good. I think he will come back, especially since the Autobots are now kind of sort of outnumbered. My guess is that RC will probably be in danger, and then Ultra Magnus will see that, and that will kind of ignite his desire to go back into the field and help her out. And something else that I really did like from this issue was seeing how all of our characters are reacting to the current news. Optimus Prime reminiscing on Ratchet, he hasn't been given any time to mourn until this point. Elita 1 releasing her pent-up frustration about all the Autobots that are back on Cybertron, currently losing their lives. Carly's frustration about not being able to go and save Cliffjumper after how mean she was to him. Revealing that although she was angry at him, she really does care about him and wants him safe. Also, it was nice seeing the Combaticons again, and I'm hoping, and I think this is pretty much teasing / confirming that we are gonna see Bruticus very soon. Maybe not next issue, since Brawl, as far as we know, is still split in two. But if the comic covers are to be believed, I think we'll see him soon enough. Something that I think is gonna happen, maybe not the next issue, but the one after that, is that I think we're gonna see more Autobots from Cybertron joining the fight. Cause that's something that kinda got teased in this issue, that, Elita 1 keeps bringing up the other Autobots stuck on Cybertron. Shockwave himself said to the Combaticons that Autobots might detect the Spike in Energon signature and might actually try to raid his fortress, so they need to be ready. I do think that that by the end of the comic run, we'll see more Autobot reinforcements joining in. And not only that, I also think we'll see humans. The humans from the dam from all the way back in issue 4 got brought up again, and while they haven't said much or appear much, especially actually, I don't think we saw them at all this issue, just Carly. I do think that at some point we're gonna see, you know, more human involvement. Maybe, you know, it will harken back to the days of the movies where, you know, humans and Autobots kind of fought side by side to defend the planet. And Optimus' little comment of like, we might need the humans to survive. I think this is building up to the humans' eventual appearance on the battlefield to help out the Autobots. Because while I'm not really expecting the humans to take down a fully sized Transformer, at the very least they can slow them down and provide the Autobots some backup that they desperately need. So I really hope that that's something we'll get to see. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, so now it's that part of the video where I basically give my review and thoughts of the comic covers. So we have quite a few this time, not as many as before, which is probably for the best. So first off, we have cover A for issue 11. This was Shockwave fighting Optimus, and Optimus is like trying to squeeze out his eyes, and they always go for the eye, man. That's like the only thing people ever do when they go against Shockwave. But yeah, this comic cover looks really good in my opinion. Well, I don't like exactly how the light colors are contrasting with the Transformers title at the top. It kind of blends in a little too much. But yeah, it's an okay cover, not the best one. I'm gonna give it a strong 7 out of 10. It's okay, it's not bad by any means. Cover B, we basically have Shockwave like busting out the wall like the Kool-Aid man, and we have a very angry Leader 1 at the bottom. And also, I don't want to be that guy, but man, they gave Leader 1 some huge I'll be honest, I actually really like this cover. I might be in the minority on this, but I do like the cooler colors here, and I do like how everything is spaced out and looks around here. It has like this almost weird hourglass composition, but I honestly kinda like it, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Next up we have cover C, and this one continues the whole trend of like, you know, of having the covers here connect to one another. In this one we have Cliff Jumper giving a fist bump to Spike, and this looks so cute. I honestly like it a lot. And it's nice to see Carly being friendly to Cliff Jumper after being angry at the guy for like 4 issues straight. And Jazz over there looks really cool too. Like, I like the colors here, I like the lighting, I like the composition here. Overall, I really like this, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. If the title Transformers had a different color, I think it will be a 10 out of 10. But yeah, we were this close to perfection. This close. And oh boy, next up we got cover D. Now, I remember when this cover got first leaked on Twitter, like the typical Twitter brain rot people said that, oh, this looks awful, I don't like how Lita is so over-sexualized here. I don't even think she's over-sexualized, I just think it's like, the angle just looks weird, you know? Because we're looking at her from the leg upwards. So it is a bit of a weird angle. I personally don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with like sexy women on my comics or like my anime and stuff. And frankly, you shouldn't take what Twitter says seriously. But that being said, I still don't like this. Like, I don't like the perspective. I don't think Leader 1 looks particularly flattering here. I get what they were going for, but this is probably my least favorite cover so far. It's competently drawn in color, I'm not gonna lie, but like, I just don't like the angle they chose and stuff. So, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. I really don't like it. I don't think this was a particularly good angle, or at least it wasn't executed the best. And then for cover E, we have Optimus Prime about to face off against Shockwave. Now, this looks cool. I kind of like the composition here. I think the colors all work really well. I feel like this is overall a very solid cover. It doesn't really blow me away, but I don't hate it either. I think it's actually really solid. I can see anyone getting this cover and, you know, like actually liking it quite a bit. If this were me, I would probably make the Optimus Prime a bit bigger, you know, bringing him closer to like our point of view, and Shockwave put him a little farther away, just to make the composition here a bit more dynamic. But overall, I think this works. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I really love it. Good job! Anyway, so now it's this part of the video where I talk about all the characters that are alive or dead and stuff like that. Now, I'm not gonna cover every single character because I feel like this section kinda takes way too much time. So instead, I'm just gonna cover the characters that appear in this issue and, you know, whose statuses have been updated, alongside any updates on the other series from the Energon Universe, Void Rivals. Alright, so very quickly, Optimus Prime, Melita 1, Ultra Magnus, RC, Wheeljack, Jazz, Cliff Jumper, they're all still alive and currently in the Nemesis, ready to fight back against the Decepticons and shut down the space bridge. Beachcomber is also still alive. It's very likely that him and Spike are planning to go back to the Nemesis and storm the fortress. Exactly what they'll do still remains to be seen. Ratchet's still dead, nothing's changed there. Jetfire is missing, and oh my god, like the more we go without finding out what happens to Jetfire, the more insane I'm getting. Is this gonna be a frenzy situation all over again? Then we have Springer and Hot Rod, who are both still alive and are making frequent appearances in the Energon Universe comic known as Void Rivals. Next up with the Decepticons, Starscream's still MIA, though he got teased that we'll see him again in a few more issues, so technically he's still alive, so yay, I can't wait to see my favorite psychopath in the comic run once again. Shockwave, Thundercracker, Soundwave are all still alive and operational. Meanwhile, Onslaught, Bro, Vortex, who yes, apparently he didn't die, Swindle and Blastov are all still alive, and we might even see Bruticus maybe very soon. We gotta tease it to him, so don't worry Combaticon fans, we're still on this. Skywarp's also still alive, and surprisingly enough, he was the one who led the Autobots inside the Decepticon base, which I'm honestly pretty surprised he did that, but I guess it's some nice development for Skywarp, now being more willing to cooperate with the Autobots after they were nice to him and didn't kill him. He's still stuck as wall furniture though. Then we have Scavenger, Scrapper, Mixmaster, Hook, Longhole, Bone Crusher, Rumble, Laserbeak, who are all still alive and awaiting their moment. And of course, everyone's favorite cat, Ravage, who's still stuck in stasis. Honestly, at this point, I just feel bad for him and Soundwave. Like, my dude's literally about to cry because he can't have his Ravage back. And also, before we end this section, Francie's apparently dead. Someone told me in the comments that this is clarified by the author of the series. So yeah, sucks to suck, and now I can finally sleep easy knowing that Francie is in fact dead. Thanks, Johnson. Overall, I don't hate this issue. I thought it was pretty good. If I'm gonna give it a score, I'll probably give it a 8 out of 10. Looking back on it, it was actually a pretty good issue. Amazing art. The story was at least moving forward a bit. And while we didn't get enough action like I was hoping for, I don't mind. This is a setup issue for next issue. And next issue, I'm sure we'll get all the action we've been craving for. There were some minor things that I personally didn't like. I kind of wish we got to see some more of the fight between the Autobots and Decepticons. But it is what it is. It is a setup issue, and I did like how some of the stuff from the previous issues are being reincorporated into this comic, whether it be in the form of flashbacks, callbacks, mentions, actions, and consequences. It was all here. It's all building up to something, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And that's something I really do hope is Autobot reinforcements from Cybertron, and of course more human involvement. But I guess we'll have to wait until next month to see if that will end up becoming true. Like I already said, the art here was amazing. There weren't any awkward poses or anything of that matter. I feel like maybe they went a bit too ham on the Elita One's, you know, antagonistic dialogue, especially towards Optimus. Like, I get it, there's a rift between those two, they are both very different leaders, but I think the Elita One's kinda coming off as a little too mean-spirited. When we have seen before that she has a soft side to her, and although while she's really tough, at the same time she's not exactly mean, she cares deeply about her friends and her soldiers. I do like how this comic issue dealt a lot with consequences from, you know, stuff that happened in previous issues, like Ratchet dying, Ultra Magnus' torture, Elita One being left behind on Cybertron, Carly's resentment towards Cliffjumper. Almost a bit of everything got mentioned here, and I feel like it's all leading up to a great climax. Whether it will stick the landing or not, we'll have to wait and see. But now I want to hear from you guys. How did you feel about issue 11 of the Skybound comics? Did you like that Ultra Magnus left the battlefield just like that? Do you think we'll end up seeing that Decepticon Civil War that got teased last issue? And do you like the pacing of the story so far or not? Personally, I think the pacing's fine for the time being. I don't feel like it's being too rushed, but I also don't feel like it's moving too slowly. I think it's just fine for the time being. So far, the Skybound comics have really delivered, and I personally really enjoy reading them and enjoy doing reviews of these, even if they don't get the most amount of views in my channel. I think it's fun and I really enjoy it. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for this issue review. Final rating, 8 out of 10, you guys heard it from me. Let me know your own rating in the comments down below, and also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe guys. Anyways guys, before we go, shout out to our super incredible Patreons and channel members. Primebear611, Moriarty, Inferno65, Winsolopes Hightower, The Certified, James Newbold, Crowley666, Random Studios, Silverman, Legend of Soup, King Sparta, Crazy T-Rex, Super Sailor Formers Hedgehog, Xavier the God, Stage Productions, Scrub Lordo, and Pelican King Hunter Plays. Also our channel members, Scrub Lordo, Obstination Reviews, TF Cypher, Laser Sin, The Crazy T-Rex, and Lord Skywarp. and Surprise Cheetor. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated. If you become a channel member or a patron, you get access to exclusive videos I haven't released yet. You get to collab with me in some of my videos if you so choose to, and access to channel exclusive emojis and a bunch of other stuff. You also get a shout out to your channel in the description down below, so be sure to check out those guys, as a lot of them are up and coming YouTubers who need all the help they can get. But keep in mind this is entirely optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys!